Very good morning. Myself, Dr. Jinu Kurian. I'm basically a sustainability practitioner and currently working with NMIMS, that is Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, and the Technology Management Department of School of Technology Management, which is located in Mumbai, India. So it is one of the, as Mumbai the financial capital. So sustainability and its impact is being, uh, thrown all over the current scenarios. And along with me, I'll be presenting the work of my co-authors, Dr. Shalini Vatpa, who is also a faculty member with Technology Management, NMIMS, and also Mr. Joji Abraham, who is an industry expert who is currently working with Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Mumbai. And all of us combined together, we explored this concept of servitization, which is, in fact, the current global scenario needs a transition from the product-based offerings to service-based offerings. So along with this industrial expert and considering the academic purview, this thought process has come in that why don't we explore the role of servitization innovation along with digital capabilities and how it impacts this transition from product-based to service-based offerings. So this was the thought process behind the development of this paper, which is titled Service Innovation as a Catalyst to Sustainability and Circular Economy Transition. So here basically, we review the existing and earlier research on this concept and then try to gather what are the literature review that is currently in around the world, what is being conducted across this scenario, and how we can contribute as researchers and as industry practitioners to this thought process, and how we can actually form a basis on which the other researchers can further go across this thought process and further develop various research studies in servitization, which is currently being explored upon a lot in academia as well as in industrial scenario. So the flow of my presentation is first I'll talk about briefly the abstract, then introduction and background, followed by methodology and key observations, followed by conclusions and implications. So this would be the flow of the presentation. So coming to the abstract, so as I said, the concept of servitization actually is a transition in the business processes which allows the organizations to move from product-based offerings to integrated service solutions. So right now, this transition is facilitated by concepts like digitalization, AI, Industry 4.0, and now the 5.0 technologies, which actually will help the management to predict the downtimes and customer using the customer data, and also during preventive maintenance and terms like that, improving quality management perspectives, how to, facilitate seamless service delivery. This is the concept behind the servitization as a terminology. So how it supports sustainability, this is the main concern which encouraged us to look into the entire concept. So it actually supports the sustainability paradigm and thereby helps the industries to march towards the sustainable development goals by encouraging resource efficiency, reducing the wastages, then extending the product life cycle dimensions, especially the concept of circular economy, which we are currently following, how all this can be encouraged and facilitated by this concept. This was the thought process behind looking into the servitization as a phenomenon and extending it to the sustainability and the sustainable business management practices, which are in the burning topics in the current scenario. So crucial to examine the role of AI and advanced technologies, how it can facilitate this process is also very important. So the primary objective of this research paper is to investigate this concept and how it facilitates the adoption of sustainability and sustainable development goals by encouraging, zero emissions, green transition. All these are being taken into account in this study, and also to study its impact on circularity and the business practices. So basically, the methodology which we adopted was a systematic literature review using VoiceViewer and Biblioshiny as the tools. So why this literature review was conducted? Because any research, the base paradigm or the base on which we follow up the research process is the literature review. So since while we were exploring this concept, an exhaustive literature review was not available, due to which we thought of initiating this study using an extensive literature review and systematic approach of that literature review to connect this servitization process with the circularity concept. There were a lot of literature on servitization and how it impacted the various sustainability principles, but the transition, how it was facilitated by the various concepts, that was missing. Hence, a systematic literature review approach was conducted, and this could form as a base on which the other research or further research can be taken on. So this was the thought process behind which the study was conducted. Now, going further to the introduction and background. So as I said, the sustainability transitions are increasingly, thought to consider this presumption, that is profuse consumption of goods and services. So servitization, which helps the transition at a logistics level. So when we say servitization, we have to consider the logistics, the entire value chain in the industrial process, right from the beginning till the product or service is being offered to the customer. So this refers to the process of manufacturing firms reallocating their business models. So currently the business models are mainly product based. So the business firms, especially the manufacturing firms, have to reallocate or remodel their businesses, shifting the importance of products to the services. So this transformation of the traditional manufacturing-based business model is what servitization is all about. And this can, in fact, lead to resource efficiency, lesser environmental impacts, and greater circularity in business models. So this is the reason why and how it can impact the concept of sustainability. Now, while we conducted the literature review, we saw that previous studies reveal that companies embrace servitization, which contribute to a more sustainable future and stay competitive in an increasing globalized economy. So some of the multinationals were already embracing this concept. But when we look at the small and medium scale industries, this concept was lacking. And the major pollution to the environmental segments was in fact caused by the small scale and medium scale industries, due to which this concept was, it is very important for these industrial segments also to embrace this concept of servitization, which is in fact the transition is very difficult. So we thought of conducting an exhaustive research in this dimension. So the findings obtained from this study, how it will help the researchers or practitioners will be that it is of immense significance to researchers and policymakers and also some scholars who are dedicated to promoting sustainable economic development. Now, some of the research questions which we looked at was, what are the evolving trends and key discussions in the literature? Then which research publications related to servitization and technologies have highest number of citations? Who are the most important contributors to the servitization technologies? And what are the most significant phrases or concepts which evolved from this servitization research? And also, what are the main dominant themes in the field of SIT research? What role have servitization played in promoting circular economy and sustainable business practices? So our major intention was to explore the various studies till now. What are the studies that happened and which are the major contributors country-wise and otherwise? Who are the major contributors in this field and how it helped us to evolve to the process of sustainability and mainly the SDGs, which we are currently moving on as the global phenomenon of climate change and all are being taken up. So this concept is very much essential for the entire business practices to move towards sustainability to achieve the various SDGs which we are talking about. So a bibliometric analysis was conducted to get the answers to the above research questions, and it allowed or it allows the various researchers to find the evolving themes. Now, so a little on the theoretical background, as I had already stated, this servitization concept aligns the principles of circular economy and product service systems rather than when we are talking about a service-based economy. So circular economy is actually talking about the entire process, right from resource consumption to resource usage. And finally, when it is thrown as waste, why don't we take it up again and put it back into the system? So this circular economy, which was product-based till now, how it evolved or is being transitioned into a service system. So this concept is the theoretical background which sets the base for this study. So various literature and studies were analyzed, and we found that some focus studies on servitization as well as sustainable and circular business models are needed further to understand this concept. Hence, the timing of the study is also can be termed as very appropriate. So various researchers have studied the concept, as I have mentioned across in the research paper, as we have evolved the research model using the technique of bibliometric analysis. Now, so these transition to circular business models are also showing why this transition is important to improve energy efficiency, reducing waste, and resulting in a reduction in the carbon emissions. So further research is needed to explore its potential for creating positive social impacts and to identify the best practices for its implementation. Now, digitization and data analytics has significant impact on servitization. So that was also a part of the analysis which we conducted. Now, going across to the methodology quickly. So mainly the PRISMA method for analysis was used, in which as the table shows, the criterion was document type, language, subject area chosen, timelines was from 13 to 24, and coverage included the whole world, whatever is available in the web. And we eliminated based on these elimination criteria also. Now, VoiceViewer, as I already mentioned, VoiceViewer and Biblioshiny were the tools, softwares which we used for analysis and also come up with a descriptive network analysis and so on. So a detailed examination of significant trends and changes in the servitization technologies from 2003 to 23 was possible by the adoption of, again, RStudio was also used in the study. So with this visualization tools, we came across the various analysis and the results, which are now I'll be detailing upon. So this is the PRISMA model of where we selected the articles. You can see here some 299 articles or records were taken from the Scopus database, and articles excluded included 32, and finally the articles selected were 241 in number. So if you look at the data overview from 13 to 24, so the sources or journals, around 120 journals we could scan. And the document contents, if you look at, around 879, and authors collaborations, there were single authored papers, co-authored paper, and international co-authorship was also found. So documents which were selected for the study included article, book chapter, and conference papers. Other document types were excluded from the study. And this slide shows the annual publication trends in the study. So where you can see the total publication and year-wise total publications are seen. So over the period from 13 to 24, as you can see here, there was an increasing trend in the publication scenario. So citations per year and the citation per document, all these are being shown here. Now, if you look at the growth and publication impact per year, these are the publication impact per year. So again, as you can see, across the years, there is an increase in the total publication across the span of years, around 14 years we have actually taken. So this shows that there is an increasing trend in the concept of adoption of the servitization concept. But even now, completely transitioning to the service-based, techniques are not being followed by majority of the industries. Now, this is also showing some globally cited documents, then authors' production over time. So here we can see that Farida is the author who is having the most number of publications in this, and followed by Rapikini and Rakik. So now moving forward, if you look at the country-wise publications, now China is having the maximum publications, followed by Italy, Germany, Sweden, Spain, Finland, UK, and the end of the ladder is Norway. Now this is showing the Sankey diagram. Again, it shows increasing trends from servitization to the concept of digital servitization. So how digital technologies are also impacting this particular process. Now, most productive sources across the various aspects is also seen in this table. Then tree map of the other keywords. This again shows that currently the maximum keywords which are being used is digital servitization and servitization. Now I've also shown the corresponding authors and countries and authors keywords in the co-occurrence network, which shows servitization, digital servitization, and so on. So the thematic evolution here shows that over a period of time to 20, when we consider the most recent trend from servitization, it has transitioned to digital servitization models. So this shows that digital technologies are also being used in this particular aspect. Now, this diagrammatic representation is also showing trend topics based on other keywords. So after analyzing all this, the conclusion is that the most important concept, now the transition from servitization to digital servitization is most commonly used here. However, looking across the various publication numbers, we can see that mostly the work is concentrated in the countries like China and the European countries, whereas other developing or emerging economies are following or very far behind. So this means that particularly in emerging economies like India, we need to concentrate more on this servitization concept. So the analysis reveals that a prominent transition is required, which again signifies that this literature review is a solid basis for further studies or future trends which can be taken up by the researchers in this area. So the implications is that the study highlights the publication trends as well as evolving research areas in this field. So overall, the impact of servitization, digitalization, and a service-based economy, which helps in decarbonization, and it helps the industries to achieve sustainability and sustainable development goals in a which will help them to achieve this competitive advantage in a rapidly changing business scenario. So some of the references which are taken are given here. However, there are a lot of references because since it is a literature review study and is carried out in the Southwest, the references are being mentioned and the clusters are also being mentioned in the paper. So this is the study implications and the relevance of servitization in the current scenario and how it will help in various industrial segments to march towards the sustainability paradigm. Thank you.